So when Microsoft originally introduced the Surface Laptop 3 15-inch, I was shocked because it was just a very beautiful 15-inch Ultrabook that I think a lot of people would want. But after I reviewed it, I got my hands on it, the performance of it was very lackluster. That 3000 series AMD CPU was just not great. You know, it had issues playing 4K video, it had terrible battery life, it just wasn't worth it. You were better off either buying the Surface Laptop 3 13-inch, or if you could get it, the Intel variant of it that was available to business users. This year, they corrected that. They put a better processor inside of here. They didn't change the design. In fact, the only difference is that the Surface Laptop 4 is slightly thinner than the previous one. Now, for those of you that need a recap, they're still using the same port setup. Like on the left-hand side, you have a USB port, USB Type-C, and an audio jack. And then on the right-hand side, you have the Surface Connect port plus an extra USB port on the actual power brick. Now, straight up, I still think this is one of the nicest Windows Ultrabooks you can buy, period. Yes, it's still using that black anodized aluminum. There's a new color you can choose from if you don't want to see all the fingerprints. The flex on top is not too bad. You can still open it up with one hand. And because this is 3.4 pounds, it's a very, very light 15-inch Ultrabook. The other thing is the keyboard deck. Like, look how clean this thing is. There's no stickers. You have this nice big touchpad, one of the best touchpads you're going to be able to use on a Windows laptop. The keyboard has nice spacing between the keys. They're a bit mushy. They don't have the same travel distance and click that the Surface Book has, but overall, a very comfortable keyboard. The display is gorgeous. It's 3x2. The color accuracy and gamut is not as good as, let's say, the MacBook Pro, but it's close. The brightness is 400 nits, which is very respectable, but there is a lot of reflection. Like, look how this looks when I move the screen up and down. You can see a lot of reflection hitting the Pixel Sense display. Now, the bezels are quite thick, which is fine. It's not as thick as the MacBook Pros, but they are noticeable. But you do get that awesome Windows Hello integration to quickly log you into the computer. Now, this doesn't have a 1080p webcam like the actual Surface Book, but it's fine for a 720p webcam. So the speaker setup, exactly the same as before. They're permeating through the deck of the keyboard, and I think it's a very interesting way to incorporate sound. It sounds clean, it sounds crisp, and this year Microsoft added the benefit of using Dolby Atmos 9. They sound good. They're not gonna get as loud and vibrant as the MacBook Pros, but overall, for what they do, they sound great. Now, performance, so much better than the previous Surface laptop. Microsoft is finally listening. And look, yes, I know it comes with a 4980U. It's not the latest 5000 series processors that are available today, but this is the most powerful 4000 series processor, or at least the U series processor you can get from AMD. Now, my SKU also comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD, and of course, the 15-inch Pixel Sense display that you've seen before. Now, the crazy thing is, in some ways, I'm happy they use a 4000 series chip because I feel like if they went with 5000, the CPU shortage would cause a major problem of you guys being able to pick this thing up. It'd just be hard to get. But the CPU performance, regardless, is still really good. If you're doing anything multi-core related, this thing does a fantastic job. If you're a developer, okay, the performance is great. It doesn't beat out an M1 MacBook Pro, but it gets very, very close. In fact, anything CPU related, this thing just dominates. However, if you're a creator, someone who's doing a lot of Adobe work in Photoshop or Adobe Premiere Pro, go Intel, okay? The Iris Xe graphics chip is just so much more powerful than the RX Vega 8 that's currently inside of here. You're just gonna get better performance and you're just gonna get a smoother experience. Heat management, really good. Microsoft stepped up their game. This gets up to 9 degrees, but then, you know, it does a good job of power throttling it down to keep the temps around 80 to 85, with the actual CPU clock speeds hovering around 3.1 gigahertz. Fan noise gets over 40 decibels when it's completely under full load, but this is definitely not a loud laptop at all. As for the insides, you can't really upgrade anything. There is a SSD that you can swap out, but it requires you to remove the keyboard and can be a kind of difficult thing to do. But yes, there is potential to upgrade the SSD down the road. Look, This is a nice update from Microsoft. I still love this design. This is still one of the most attractive looking Ultrabooks you can buy today. But there's a lot of competition on the market. You know, there's something to be said about the M1 MacBook Pro. And I know a lot of you are gonna be looking at this and looking at that and have a tough time deciding. It really comes down to exactly what you're doing. If you just need a great Windows Ultrabook, this thing is going to take the cake. If you're looking for something that's more creator focused, get the Intel version of this, or maybe consider the M1 MacBook Pro. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the review, because if you did, feel free to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.